Hi YouTube. The reason why I'm making this video is to talk about medical facilities, senior citizen homes, certain, medical institutions that your family may be in, mental health, whatever the case may be. Um, my biggest thing is to encourage parents, children, um, a love spouse, a loved one, friend, or whatever the case may be, or whatever role that you may play in their lives, to encourage you to focus more on caring for them at home compared to placing them or trying to permanently make arrangements for them to be at a facility. You may be very busy. You may have a lot of different things going on where you cannot actually devote the time that you want to devote to your loved ones. But I will honestly say that it is in your best interest to care for that loved one at home. They may have a faster recovery at home, or if at home there is a lot of problems, maybe just, purchasing or trying to make different arrangements where you can care for them yourself, but actually put them in a place where, you know, they're not affected by certain things that are going on. Because sometimes our living situation at home may not be the best environment because of the number of attacks that may be going on against the family. But at the same time, putting them into a facility isn't always the best thing either. The first sign that I will honestly say that I notice when it's an issue is when you go to visit your family and you can't visit them. It's always a time change for you where they're trying to, oh, we can't let you see them now. They have to see, you have to see them another time or at another place. You can't really visit them now. We we're doing this, we're doing that. It's not in their best interest. So you're doing all these different other forms of means of visiting your family, which means that your family probably isn't in a safe position or isn't where they should be. I can tell you from personal experience that people had invested a lot of money in having people watch out for me, and some of those people were not in my best interests. Um, all that saying that you're sorry, but you had came with your own personal agenda. I'm not sure how much you got paid for it. I'm not sure what you accomplished out of it, but you came with your own personal agenda and pretty much sabotaged families and lives because you were on your own mission in which was assigned to you instead of what you should have been doing, which was your regular job. A lot of people feel that sorry covers the abuse or the harm that is committed against a family or a loved one, and it does not. Um, or done against you. It does not. Sorry is just what it is. You just said you were sorry, but at the same time, these same people that constantly says that they're sorry commit the same crimes, the same sins because they never was punished for them. There was never a deterrence in place or a consequence for their behavior. So they felt that they're like, well, for me, I look at it like they're children because a child will do all kinds of stuff if he is never corrected or she is never corrected. A child will sit up there and act a fool, but they're never corrected. And I know for a fact a lot of people want to do the hush hush shush shush type thing. Where I can tell you from personal experience that police officers, sheriff's officers, they will actually Baker Act you, put you in mental health facilities and different facilities, and institutions, jails, prisons, and everything to try to silence you from showing people what is really taking place, verbalizing, vocalizing it, and bringing it to the awareness, because it stops the excuses. Um, Most places have excuses. We didn't know. I understand. Some people don't. Hey, there was years I worked for companies and I didn't know um the activities that they were into. I didn't know their behavior patterns. I didn't know anything about the company. All I knew is I woke up in the morning, got ready for work, showed up at these people's job. I didn't see anything unethical, so I didn't think anything was wrong. Um, but things were wrong. There was a few warning signs. You look at those few warning signs and you say, well, I'm not into that. I understand you're not into that, but there are other people involved in that, and they're trying to make it count against you because they don't want to step up to the punishment of what they have sent out, or the karma of what they have sent out. I am a true believer. Whatever you send into the universe comes back to you. So I have to be careful what I send out into the universe. Because if I take a life, I know a couple of lives I'm gonna lose. That's my understanding of the universe. But at sometimes there are exceptions to the rules in which I will play on. But I know whatever I send out into the universe, it will come back at some point, whether I was justified in my behavior or not justified in my behavior. It will come back on my family, it will come back on me, it will come back on people that I love. So I have to be careful. Other people don't believe in this, so that they can get away with whatever they do without having a conscience or a moral compass. So, since they don't have a moral compass, they want a compass to the atlas, but they don't want a moral compass. Um, they feel that certain things are okay that's not okay. Um, I talk to women all the time. Your husband is sick, but you don't want him home right now. You want to keep him into a hospital. He's telling you, I don't like it here. I'm uncomfortable here, or whatever the case may be. But instead of you caring for your husband and bringing him home, you keep him there, talking about you teaching him a lesson, or talking about, I don't have the time to devote to it, or whatever. They have people that will come and care for your husband. But what I will advise you, be careful how you do the second half of yourself, whether good or bad, because it has a tendency to come back and revisit you. So even if he's a bad man, there was warning signs. You probably dated him. There was warnings that he. I know we get stuck on stupid, baby. I have been there, stuck on stupid, just straight dumb, and couldn't really shake myself free of men that were not for my best interest, people, friends, family that was not for my best interest, because they have you somewhat stuck on stupid, or try to make you stuck with these people that don't mean you well through other means, well, through your children. So he sits up there and he has all your children, but he's a crappy dude that beats on you, and now he has all of your children, but that was a mean for him to have communication with you, or a means for you to be forced to deal with the likes of him. Put your children in God's hands and let it go. That's all I can tell you. At some point, you just have to put your kids in God's hands and say, God, I'm just giving it to you. I'm giving it to the universe. I'm giving it to a higher power, because at this point I have done all that I can do, and what I'm doing, it's not getting where it needs to be. You get what I'm saying? The courts are rigged up to a certain degree on a certain level you're on. And when I say um, you may be surrounded by your enemies, so you're looking at it and you say the system cannot be this corrupt. And you are correct. It cannot be that corrupt because it was not invented to be corrupt, the court system, legal system, or anything. But you're dealing with corrupt people within those systems. And their behavior, their patterns are not beneficial to you. Now, what I will say, I am so proud of medical facilities, nursing homes, and places that are doing things for the best interests of all people, doctors' offices, and all of that. But I can honestly say there are a lot of them that aren't. So you have to be careful, and it is hard for the people that's fighting for to care for you to actually get institutions started, to actually get their own where you can get the best care. It is definitely hard to fight for that and stuff like that. It's getting worse every day. But my word to you, if you have a family member, your grandmother, your mother, they're sick, don't try to rush and put them in a nursing home. There are good nursing homes out there, but try to attend to your family at home yourself. If you start seeing problems within the house, because this is a spiritual attack and a spiritual warfare, fighting for lives, um, and a lot of times certain things will come into your home to try to attack your family. You have hired help, and that same help will be the same person that tries to kill and destroy your family and destroy you at the same time. So you have to be very careful who you trust and who you allow over your family, into your house, into your home. And you know how we do it. We call the agency up, hey, can you send me someone? And whatever they sent, you don't know where they got it from, but you want them to take it back to wherever it came from. So you really have to really work hard and be careful to safeguard your family now more than ever. The schooling system. You're constantly getting calls home about your kids fighting. Your child is fighting. He's doing this or whatever. And trust me, don't be thinking because you're not getting a call, your child can still be getting bullied. You're not getting a call. All you notice your child coming home trying to cope with what has happened throughout his school day and stuff like that. So it's not just in medical facilities you have to pay attention to. You have to also pay attention to them in school. So many different things, not just when they're ill, because remind you, this world is sick mentally, physically, emotionally. They're sick. Body wise, they're sick. They diseased. They don't care. The the motive of them is to try to get you to the same state of sickness and mental illness and stuff like that. However they have to do it, whether they have to sit up there and completely try to give you amnesia or dementia or whatever the case may be to try to get you to surrender to a certain degree. You just you have to be careful, because sometimes it feels like you're fighting a losing battle, and I know all too well, especially with me being in a custody battle. And I definitely have to post these videos because I know that they're of value to people, for me to post the court hearing for you all to see this. When you see in court documents, we refuse to relinquish jurisdiction over any subject in this matter. We refuse to let them go. We refuse to do all of this, and this is a court system saying this, how they don't want to let a person go or release a person, despite the abuse and despite the things that are taking place. You don't have that kind of right even as a judicial system, but you're trying to have those governing powers over people that you really don't supposed to have that kind of authority over. They're not even the issue. The issue is really you. But you're not ready to address your issues because you feel like you don't have any. Um, I tell you guys, and then when you go to sue or do a lawsuit against like medical companies and malpractice or any form of malpractice, whether it's professional, legal wise, or whatever the case may be, your family's getting dragged through the mud for years. These court battles is playing out in the public eye, and they're flamboyantly disrespectful and stuff like that. And you're not at that point where you're ready to show them that this type of disrespect is unacceptable. So my advice to people, don't trust. I can tell you from honest experience, I was dating a guy, I didn't even know he was sent on assignment for me. Kid you not, sent on assignment. I'm not gonna even say his name, I'm just gonna call him T. Sent on assignment for me to destroy me. You get what I'm saying? Other people playing the same game like as if they're him, and so many different things are happening that it's hard to register. And I'm telling you from personal experience, if you have someone that you love, be careful. If they're in the hospital, send someone there to watch them the whole night. If they're in a nursing home, send somebody there. If they get mad, well, we can't have you here all this time with your family. We can't have you here. It's the reason why they're mad and saying they can't have you here. If you're not doing anything wrong, why can't I be here? If you're not doing anything bad, what is your problem? But because of what is now taking place, you have to be careful with your children, your family, everybody. And I know one person can't be in a million places at one time, and it seemed like we're all dumb and stuck on stupid, and it's a lot to bear. So, just, I mean, my personal advice to anyone, if you have family, you have friends, you have someone you care about, you're going to have to fight for them because these people don't care no more how they go into warfare with you. They're going into nuclear, bio, they're going into so many different warfares too. It's ridiculous. You won't even know you're in warfare until it's too far gone. So I always encourage people just to be careful when you send your family to medical facilities, gynecologists, anyone. Go there with them, check with them, make sure that they're okay, make sure that everything is going good, because all of these places is not for our people. It's not for us. It's not about us. I don't care what color you is. I don't care if you're white, Cuban, Hispanic, Haitian, Jamaican, Arabic, whatever. Just take the advice that's given. It's meant to be a blessing to you, and my family. I document these things for my family because I never know when God may move me or when I may not be around. And I hope that this is some form of a sound advice to them of what they need to do.